Arts main stage. Welcome tonight. We have a change in our normal repertoire. We're used to having 3 individual singer-songwriters. Now we have 4 posing as 2 duets. So we're happy to welcome to the Hallberg stage the Roe Family Singers. And Quillan Roe. So we're going to let you guys just take off and play, and I'll come and visit you guys a little bit later with some more announcements. But again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Please put your phones on silence. Also, a special thank you to our sponsor of this show, the Hallberg Family Foundation.
Well, all right. Hello, folks. I'm Joby. I'm half of Pine and Fire.
I'm the other half.
We'll just get going with a song that I wrote fairly recently. I think it's our newest song on the list tonight.
Newest one on the list. Maybe the second newest song.
Yeah, I'm always pumping out songs, but this one is very new, and I sort of wrote it about wanting to slow down. We live in Minneapolis. I'm originally from the Iron Range. Life is fast-paced and stressful and tiring most of the time. And there was a really beautiful moon one night, and I thought, it's a shame more people aren't appreciating this. And this song was sort of born out of it. I'm horrible at titles, so it's just called Moon Song. And it goes like this. All the moon's lying low, the belly is full. The city don't slow down for nothing. No, it's just go, 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 so I don't leave my home. I'm constantly hiding from something. I've had the thought a few times that I ought to leave this world behind, but I know it ain't right for the ones in my life. So I'll sit here and watch the moon shine. And I might be crying tomorrow. That ain't what's on my mind. Giving the moon all of my sorrow and bathing myself in her light. Now this house where I reside, no, it ain't really mine. All I own is my words and my time. Most people I see, they're all just like me. Everyone trying to get by. And the pictures online, they don't look like real life. Oh, the truth can be so hard to find. So when I don't know what's right and I can't see the light, I go out and watch the moon shine. I might be crying tomorrow. That ain't what's on my mind. Giving all of my sorrow, bathing myself in her light. Yeah, I'm giving the moon all of my sorrow and bathing myself in her light. Thank you.
My heart took to the earth. Okay.
So we're the Roe Family Singers. I'm Quillan Roe. This is
I'm Kim.
Kim Roe. When we do stuff like this, when we play with other musicians, I like to, we don't write a set list. I like to just hear what you all are playing and bounce off of it. And so
We're kind of hoping to do the same.
we're going to get stuck playing the same song over and over again if we're both doing it.
It's the endless loop again.
Yep. But what you were saying, Joby, when you introduced that song reminded me of, Kim and I have very luckily, we're really blessed. We've been doing music full-time for 12 years now. Before that, we were playing for 8 years before that, but it's been our full-time job for 12 years. But when I wrote this song, I had a corporate job working in a cubicle it's just not a good fit for an artistic personality to begin with.
I didn't like him working there.
But the only good thing about it was it was when social media was just kicking off. And somehow I stumbled across this artist named Joanna Newsom. And it was her first record. And Joanna Newsom, Kim does not like Joanna Newsom's
Not true.
music as much as I do.
I can listen to one song and then I'm good for a while.
She plays the full concert harp, the grand concert harp, but her background is it's in punk and rock and roll. So she writes, singer-songwriter kind of stuff. And she has the first album. She sounds like a demented fairy. Like her voice is very.
He makes it sound so nice.
Well, I understand what it could be grating about it. I like it, but not everybody does. But what I was really struck about her writing was it was so beautiful. Just everything about it was beautiful. And like her, my background, the first bands I played in were punk bands and heavy metal bands. And beauty was not something that I took into consideration. It's not what punk music is about. It's not what I was about. And I was just so struck by the beauty of her writing, both lyrically and musically. And I wanted to write something like that. And I was working in this cubicle.
Are we not supposed to swear?
Well, we're on TV, so I don't know. Hopefully there's a delay, and they can bleep it out. I was working in this cubicle, and it just was, for me, it was soul-crushing. And so I wrote this song called My Heart Took to the Earth, and it's very much about the same thing, just about wanting to slow down and appreciate beauty. Ready? Mm-hmm.
As I open my mouth to sing along, there was a wave that was rolling to the shore, and as it crashed, my heart took to the sea. And as I mangled within those fathomless songs, there was a forest that spread right before my eyes, and as it grew, my heart took to the earth. And as my heart blood runs deep into the soil, there was a deer that was standing in the glen, and as he stood, my heart took to the trees. And as a calm settled down over my heart,
you.
That was pretty groovy. I like that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was great.
Well, when you're ripping off Joanna Newsom.
Oh man. Yeah. You know what? That makes sense. My brain is kind of thinking about it while they were playing. So, the next song I wrote, but Brandy's gonna take the lead vocally on it. I do the majority of our songwriting. It's sort of what I consider my craft. I play guitar and I sing on the side, but songwriting is my craft.
I've written about 5 songs, and he's written over 70.
Yeah,
Not an exaggeration.
I have a lot to say. And so this next song I did write while thinking, I guess, about myself, but I think a lot of people can relate to the sentiment. I was mostly thinking about how, in an effort to protect myself from any hurt, I was making myself a very lonely person and self-sabotaging in a way. But again, it's through a nice nature lens. I think about nature a lot, you know. I grew up in northern Minnesota. And I'm pretty fond of this song, so I hope you enjoy it. It's called Left Behind Blues. It goes like this.
Fog's hanging heavy over my memory, and I can't feel nothing at all. It's morning again, the grass is all wet, and the air tastes like the last days of fall. The fields are all empty, the birds have all gone. It's time that I start moving on. But I'm here standing still, like I probably always will. 'Cause that's what happens when you can't face your faults. You get left behind with time. You get lost in the back of people's minds. One day you wake up to a half-empty cup and no one to listen to you whine. There's nothing to envy about a person that's empty, living behind all these walls, surrounded by noise, can't hear my own voice. It gets lost with the rest in the fog. And I get left behind with time. I get lost in the back of people's minds. One day I'll wake up to a half-empty was hanging heavy over my memory, and I can't feel nothing at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like
Oh, did we say that beforehand?
Yeah, yeah.
You did.
Okay,
you did.
great. We're supposed to say the title of the song.
This is one called The Cold Thin Air. So before I met Kim, I was engaged to be married to somebody else. And it was interesting. I'd been in that relationship for 4 years, and almost every single day she had asked when I was going to propose to her. Almost every single day. You know, when are you going to propose to me? We really should get married. We really should get married. And I was young, and I didn't think it was a good idea, but after 4 years, eventually I thought, well, it's been 4 years. That's a long time to spend with somebody when you're 20, whatever it was. And so I proposed, and now this should have been the warning, because when I proposed to her, she said, "Are you serious?"
Red flag.
And then she said, "Well, I guess." So, so I was excited about that. And a week later, it was my best friend's dad's funeral, and his dad had been like a dad to me. And so it was a pretty hard day, and we played at the funeral. And I came home from the funeral, and she gave me back the ring and said, "I think you should move out." So, which was the right thing. Of course, in hindsight, these things was what I needed. But at the time, it was really soul crushing. And that summer, I was working as a male nanny, for a family from Norway. And all the books in the house were in Norwegian except for one. And there was a book called The Troll with No Heart. And boy, did that sound familiar to me. And so I read it, and it's a story about, and this is the part that is the most shocking, is that apparently in Norway, trolls are very popular. Like when we think of trolls here, we think of the internet and things like that. In Norway, this troll was so popular with all the human ladies that he got so fed up that he opened his chest up and he took his heart out and he tossed it over the mountains and he said, "All right, whichever one of you finds that my heart, I will marry her. Now leave me alone." And it felt kind of like I'd just been through that same thing, like kind of a bait and switch. And so I wrote this song called The Cold Thin Air. So if nothing else, the moral of the story is don't marry trolls. I mean, if you take nothing else from this, that's what you get.
Don't date them.
Don't date them. If you find you're in a relationship with a troll, shoo, out you go. Cold Thin Air.
Heart was. You said in that cupboard over there. But when I looked, the only thing I found was a cold thin air. You laughed at me, said I was foolish. How could I buy such a thing? I asked you where your heart was. You said in that fire over there. But when I looked, the only thing I found was a cold thin air. You laughed at me, said I was foolish. How could I buy such a thing? The only way to find your heart was with a diamond ring. Flowers all those places. I placed flowers at your feet, and I spoke words from deep in my heart, but they found no heart to meet. heart was not under stone or in a cupboard bare. You said you'll find it in the churchyard in the cold thin air. I laughed at myself, I was so foolish. I knew I'd never find it there. Because my girl, there is no heart in the cold thin air. Because my girl, there just ain't no heart in the cold thin air.
Thank you.
Y'all are great.
Well, it's mutual.
We were fans of them before. I think you guys knew who we were, which makes sense because you've been at it a little longer. But it's very cool, very cool to be here sharing a stage with you. So, thank you for that.
Well, it's, I say in all honesty, there's not a lot of bands that I like. So when I do like a band, I get stoked about it. So
Nice.
you all, I really like what you all
Yeah.
do.
Thank you.
What are we doing here, Joe?
You know,
You want to do Hold My Head Up? Do you want to do
well,
Church?
I was wondering about, in the spirit of heartache and heartbreak and breakups, I promise it'll get less sad at some point tonight. But I was wondering about playing a song I wrote about a friend breakup, which was really painful. And it turns out friend breakups can be just as painful as romantic breakups, if not more at times. But I was thinking, give me your word.
Oh, yeah.
Brandy's gonna have to do a little tuning quick because we're folk artists and a lot of time.
Anytime you move the capo on the banjo, you got to retune it. It's the worst thing about it.
They say a banjo player spend half their time playing a tune in and the other half playing out a tune. But yeah, so we had these friends. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but I cared very deeply for them, and we all thought the feelings were mutual, and we moved into a household together, and things quickly fell apart. And then we were all stuck living in a house together for another year, and what was a horrible situation, and there was just no communication or contact. It was straight avoidance, and it really, really hurt me and rattled my emotional confidence and my trust in people, my trust in myself. And I don't know if I'm over it, but writing songs has helped me go through it anyhow. And so I wrote the song called Give Me Your Word, and sort of about how I feel like I don't know if I could go through another hurt like that, and hopefully don't have to. I'm gonna put my pick down and get going on it.
Gonna get serious now.
Oh, I don't need this tambourine. Did we say this is called Give Me Your Word? This song
Yeah,
is
I
called
did,
Give Me Your
about
Word.
3 times, I bet.
Well, now they know for sure.
But yeah, the song is called Give Me Your Word.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the song again?
Oh man, I just remembered it, but it's gone. All right, let me get this capo on right. That sounds a little better.
Is the key.
It is. Give me your word that I won't end up hurt. I have nothing left to give. If you break me again, this is it. I don't mean to get you down, but I am done getting kicked around and losing love that I thought that I had found. I'm putting myself first from here on out. So give me your word that I won't end up hurt. I have nothing left to give. If you break me again, this is it. Might be time to leave this town and go someplace where I cannot be found. I would change my name and reinvent myself. If only I could leave behind that gown. So give me your word that I won't end up hurt. I have nothing left to give. If you break me again, this is it. Give me your word that I won't end up hurt. I have nothing left to give. If you break me again, this is it.
Thanks.
Thank you. That song was called Give Me Your Word.
This wasn't.
Well, now you got me laughing. I don't know.
Nah, it's all over.
It's all over.
This is called Gotta Move On, is what this
Are you
one
sure?
is called. Yeah.
Okay.
Why did you suggest this one?
I don't know.
Just
It
felt
just
right?
the drive that
Ah.
was. Yeah, just maybe. Yeah.
This is about just feeling stuck, you know, and
Also,
and
needing
even
to move on.
well, yeah, exactly. Just sometimes it's just time to move on, and it feels like, you know, we've all like tried to run away from our problems, and they're always right there whenever you get to that new place. They don't go away. But
They're
that was
like a shadow. They're attached.
yep, that was the thought behind this. Well, if I had me some shoes that would walk around, you know, I put them on and walk on out of this town. But them shoes I own, them shoes is all worn down, and I'm just stuck here waiting. The wind don't be right. I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. Well, if I had me some wheels that would really roll, you know, I'd hop in that car and then I'd hit the road. But I ain't got no gas, so got no place to go, and I'm just stuck here waiting. And when don't be right, I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. Well, you ask me what I'm doing, I don't really know. I'm feeling antsy and I just got to go. My palms are sweaty and my clothes are too tight. I got to go right now because the time is right. Well, if I had me some money, I'd buy me a ticket on a train, And if that train don't work, I buy me one for a plane. But I ain't got no money, so goodbye open rain. And I'm stuck here waiting, the window for the ride. I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. Unleash it now. I'm hitting the road. I don't care where, I just got to go. There's just one thing that's holding me back. There just ain't no way, so I'm stuck here, Jack. Well, if I had me a rocket, I'd fly off to the moon. I'd leave it all behind and come back no time soon. But I ain't a billionaire, so I just guess I'm screwed. And I'm just stuck here waiting, the window for the ride. I got to go right now because my heart's feeling tired. I got to get out of town now, get out of sight. I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. I got to move on, Daddy, 'cause the time is right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that definitely made me think of a song that we were hoping to play tonight. A rambling song.
So we're on TV, right? Are we actually not supposed to swear? Can we say a swear? Or should we?
We can.
It's just cable.
Great.
Okay.
If you want, you can say it and let me know. Give me a look and I'll bleep it at the same time.
Yeah, perfect.
Just yell.
Okay. Ready? Ah! Is that okay?
Oh man, but this is a rambling song that I wrote back in 2020. Well, we were well into the lockdown days, and I was really restless. I love traveling. I love being on the road. I'm sort of unmoored in my life. I always am trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be. And I was at home, comfy, and eating DoorDash all the time. And I was missing the instability of my younger rambling times. And
We ate so much Indian food, though. It was great.
oh, it was great. But yeah, and so I got to writing this song. And I just wanted to express the feeling of just the simplicity of like being a person. I wanted no weight attached to me. I just wanted to go out and be and see things. And so that's sort of the sentiment I was trying to capture with this tune, and it's called Hold My Head Up High. And we've been playing it for a few years out now, and we haven't gotten tired of it, so hopefully y'all dig it. Morning I woke up and I thought, fuck, I've had enough living and being in this place. I thought about drinking until I'm no longer thinking, but instead I just up and walked away. With my backpack and my boots, I walked straight through to the loop. Met up with a friend over by the lake. We smoked a couple blunts and I said, this sure has been fun, but I think I'll keep on going about my way. By God, I'm nothing if not human, living, breathing, tired, broken, ruined. By God, I'm nothing if I could be, I made my way back to the street, looking for another way to leave. Walking to a Greyhound station without even waiting, bought a ticket for the first bus that I seen. Well, I slept good on that ride, and when I woke up I'd arrived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, feeling fine. I'd been there once before, but I don't know when or what for, so I started hiking down I-29. By God, I'm nothing if not human, living, breathing, tired, broken, ruined. By God, I'm nothing if not human, so I hold my head up high and keep on moving. Now Omaha's my goal, I've got some folks out there I know. Hey Grandpa, Lord knows it's been too long, and once we've shared some laughs, I might start heading back, or maybe I'll just keep a rambling on. I got I'm nothing if not human, living, breathing, tired, broken, ruined. I got I'm nothing if not human, so I hold my head up high and keep on moving. I got I'm nothing if not human, living, breathing, tired, broken, ruined. I got I'm nothing if not human, so hold my head up high and keep on moving.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, what do you think?
I was thinking The Road is Rocky,
Yeah, we could do that.
or,
Let's do Rose Rocky.
wait, that's banjo. Okay. Well, this is a remarkably similar song, thematically. This is, it's called The Road is Rocky.
I probably would have chosen that. I like totally passed it by, so I choose this too.
It's just about, there must be something about being a folk musician, or I think it's the other way, probably the other way around. I think it's the fact that we all have a lot of folk musicians have kind of a wanderlust, and that's how we end up where we are, because this is a music for wandering. All of our heroes are people like Woody Guthrie, who is a proud hobo, and Utah Phillips and people like that who spend a lot of time traveling. And so I think you find a lot of songs about traveling in what we do. And of course, I don't know if anyone ever picked up on this before, but the traveling is usually a metaphor for something. So usually it's self exploration, and I think that's part of what you all were getting at, and that's certainly what this one is about. It's called The Road is Rocky.
You actually wrote this up on the...
I not on the range, but I
Not
wrote
range,
this.
but
I wrote this in a
North Shore.
hotel. I wrote this at a hotel room in Two Harbors, Minnesota, at the Voyageur. Has anyone ever been to the
yeah.
Voyageur?
The Voyager.
The Voyageur.
I always have to do this.
They moved him. The Voyageur is no longer in the parking lot of the Voyageur. He's on the south end of town now. He's been restored to his former fiberglass glory. But back then, he was still hanging out in the parking lot with me. I was stranded up there with a dead car for a week, and I lived in the hotel for a week. And I wrote this while I was there.
church? What were you thinking?
I was wondering about Where Can I Be Found?
Okay.
Because I was thinking, so the last song was about wanting to get out of Minnesota. And the song we're about to play is about wanting to come back to Minnesota. And that's my whole life. I'm here and I'm wishing I was gone. And then I'm gone and I'm wishing I was back home.
Like,
and
damn,
so,
you know what sounds good? My bed.
Yeah. And so it comes up a lot in my songs. But I wrote this song specifically after a stretch of time down in East Tennessee. We have some really dear friends out there, and we've grown to love it, and we've spent weeks there at a time. But I was really missing the Northland and my mom and hot dish. And I thought, I want to write a song with the word hot dish in it because I think that it's important to represent the region I'm from in the music I make. And so this song is for my mom and also for hot dish. It's called Where Can I Be Found? And we haven't played it in a minute, so I hope it goes all right.
It'll be fine. Also, a little shameless plug. We both have merch and whatnot over here. We got shirts and t-shirts. For those of you at home, we have Bandcamp if you want to buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Good point. All good points. Very valid, very valid.
Yeah, for those at home, you could even go to, was it Venmo and
Venmo and PayPal,
Yeah.
yeah.
The digital age.
You can imagine how we old people feel about this.
Just a little plug. We're all poor, so we had to do it.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, this is Where Can I Be Found? Take me back, Minnesota. It's been a while since I seen my mama. Sure could use a hug and a hot dish made with love. I'm all the way down south, sleeping on the couch of a stranger's house. Hoping my next show can make enough money to get back home. Oh, why can't I sigh on a place I wanna be? No, it's good enough for me. Oh, where can I be found? Bounce from town to town, 'cause I can't settle down. Seems that every place I go, someone there that I don't want to know. I try, keep my head down low, but I never do too good. I guess that's why I write these songs. You know, take 'em on the road, never stay too long. Always packing up, always moving on. Sometimes I really miss my mom. Oh, why can't I sigh on a place I wanna be? No, it's good enough for me. Oh, where can I be found? Bounce from town to town, 'cause I can't settle down. Take me back, Minnesota. It's been a while since I seen my mama. I sure could use a hug and a hot dish made with love. Thank you. Shout out to my mom. She's right there, rocking a cool Pine and Fire shirt.
What's your favorite hot dish?
Oh, absolutely tater tot.
What was yours at? I just want to know. I want to know.
So this is called the
She's not even
Buckeye
gonna tell
Tree.
me.
And it's funny, it doesn't have anything to do with my mom.
I know it doesn't, but you always talk.
I know.
He tells stories all the time.
So
I don't.
Kim and I, we were talking before the show, Kim and I both grew up here in the Twin Cities. Kim's from Brooklyn Center, and I'm from Plymouth.
I'm from Brooklyn Park.
Brooklyn Park is what I said.
It's okay, we've been married for almost 20 years. It's all right.
I thought it was 18.
Although I did say Brooklyn Park, and then I said I don't claim it, so I don't know.
Oh, boy. This
Okay,
isn't
go
going to
ahead.
be on cable access in Brooklyn Park, is it? I mean, we're in trouble now.
It's all
This is
right.
trouble.
Okay, continue.
So, my family is from southern Iowa, from a little community called Washington, Iowa, or if you're from down there, Washington,
Because they
Iowa.
do the wash.
Washington. It's down in the southeastern corner, and my family, just a long line of farmers. And my mom still keeps a pretty active garden. Her dad, my granddad, had moved off the farm, but he had his own garden, and then he had Miss Hazel across the alley. She let him use her backyard, and then he had the historic mansion downtown that he did all the landscaping there, and then there were a number of farmers that he had worked with when he was a feed salesman that he gardened out on their property as well. So it's been a big part of my family, and so one fall, if any of you are gardeners, you know at the end of the season you put your garden to bed. You turn the soil over, you pull out all the weeds and the stuff that hasn't grown up, and you turn the soil to get it ready for next season. And my mom was saying she was doing this, and she was saying, I keep finding all these buckeyes in there. And buckeyes, we have buckeyes here in Minnesota. A lot of people don't know it because they only fruit every 3 years. And this is the first time she'd been finding these buckeyes in her garden. She couldn't figure out where they were coming from. And so we went for a walk, and as we were coming back, there's a buckeye tree not even a half block down the block from my mom's garden. And what was happening was, as you're putting the garden to bed, you're turning the soil over so it's nice and loose. The squirrels were pulling the fruiting buckeyes off, and they were burying them in the garden because the soil was loose there.
And they're helping.
And they're helping. Yep. Buckeyes are beautiful, by the way, but don't lick them. They're poisonous. So if you were thinking about finding some buckeyes and licking them, that's not a good
We read
idea.
about it, it's not that we actually tried it. Just want to point that out.
So, but what Kim is getting is like that has nothing to do with this song at all, except the name of the song is the Buckeye Tree. That's all. I guess you could say it's where the seed was planted.
Yeah, you don't have to, it's okay.
Maybe it's where the idea germinated.
Thanks for having us. We're gonna.
We're heading out.
I think we need to put your jokes to bed.
The sun was shining, it was so sunny. And through the trees blew away a warm breeze. I hugged my baby up close to me, underneath the buckeye tree. I said, now listen, listen to me. It all is right as right can be. So stay right here with me, underneath the buckeye tree. She said, now listen, listen to me. You know my love, it runs deeply, but the city is calling me from underneath the buckeye tree. When I awoke did me. There was no one close to me. I was all alone, alone was me, underneath the buckeye tree. Thank you. Thank you.
That was great. Those oohs were sort of breathtaking. I snapped my head over real quick when he started doing them. I was like, is that a theremin? I don't know why.
Well, we usually play with a saw player, right? So
Yeah, the saw is
It's just an acoustic theremin.
Yeah.
that part actually started out because of one of Quillan's friends was.
Oh, it was a harmonica. It was a harmonica part. On the very first recording of it, there's a harmonica that does that part.
And so I would just ooh along with it, and then there it was.
Ooh along.
I think it was a joke at first, then it just kind
No,
of.
it sounds good.
It
I'm with
does.
you.
So I've got little to no sense of time. How much time do we have here?
Half an hour, man.
We have half an
All
hour?
right,
Okay.
all right.
I'm glad someone's on it. Thank you.
So, the next song we're gonna play, I wrote about a place up north on the Iron Range, and I wanted to write a song specifically about this place, and it's called Church in a Ghost Town, and the place that I'm thinking of is Sparta, Minnesota, which, yeah, you all know Sparta. That's cool.
Have you guys worked with Rich?
We have not, no. But yeah, so there's a music studio in what used to be the town church, in the little modern ghost town of Sparta. And I was thinking about how sad the Sparta situation is and how sad it looks, but how there's a warmth coming out of the music studio in the church. There's still life there. And yeah, it kind of came out in this song. This is Church in a Ghost Town.
For Sparta.
That's great. Like a church in a ghost town, waiting to fall down. I was worth something, now I'm empty and worn out. Holding memories of a time that no one thinks about. But it's another year and I'm still here when they brought me down. 'Cause I don't let go easy. When I love you, I'm not leaving. Even though the paint is peeling inside, fire is burning bright. When the land beneath my feet is bought out from under me, they're gonna tear down this old church. They're gonna do it piece by piece. And when there's nothing left but space, you'll think of my face. And all of the memories will be yours to embrace. 'Cause I don't let go easy. When I love you, I'm not leaving. Even though the paint is peeling inside, fire is burning bright. Inside, fire is burning bright. Thank you. And shout out to Sparta Sound up in Sparta, Minnesota.
You know they sponsor a chunk of the highway up there.
Yeah, I did see they have a little adopted highway
Yeah,
stretch.
on 116. I think it's 169 outside
No.
of Cloquet.
No, that's not 160.
It's not 169. It's somewhere
So I
else.
can go
It's
north
up
out
there.
of Cloquet,
Yes.
53?
Yep. 53. Sure. I believe you. You should check them out. It's such a great. Rich and Jermaine are such great people. And
Great
it's-
people, great space.
Great
too,
space.
yeah.
This is called Little Trouble. Is the name of this one, and I was probably 13 when I used to get record albums at the library, and you know, I had my own library card, and my parents didn't really care what I grabbed. They just were happy I was going to the library, and I just would, and you know, like most kids, I just grabbed it based on the album art. And there was this band called the Pogues, and there's this album called "If I Should Fall from Grace with God," and the cover of the album, it's a portrait of the author James Joyce in the middle, and then there's 8 people in the Pogues at that time, and so fanned out from that is this exact same portrait of James Joyce, but it's got all the band members' faces replacing James Joyce's face. And for whatever reason, that just struck me as something pretty interesting. And so I got the record and I brought it home. I didn't know anything about the band at all. I think the back cover showed them with their instruments, and they had a lot of traditional instruments in it. But the Pogues are they were a traditional Irish band based in London. But they were all, the main guy in particular, Shane MacGowan, they were punks. And so it was traditional Irish music, but with a very punk edge to it, which really spoke to me a lot. And so I remember I was at home, and my uncle was babysitting me, and I was listening to this record, and he starts singing along. And he's singing along the choruses, and I was like, how does my square old uncle know, you know, this super cool band? And he didn't, and it turned out what they were doing was Shane MacGowan, the writer, was a huge, he's just very literate and omnivorous reader, and his songs were these amalgams of his own personal experiences and then traditional Irish tunes, and so my uncle knew a lot of that music, and so I had never heard of that before. Like, I didn't know who, at that point I didn't know who Bob Dylan was, and I didn't know about the history, especially in folk music, of taking existing songs and rewriting them. So to a 13-year-old, this was really an interesting idea that like you could take traditional music, because that's a lot of what I grew up with was traditional American music, and you could do new things with it. And I've always had this fascination with that idea. So on our last couple of albums, there's always 1 or 2 songs where I take a traditional song and I mess it up. And this is one. So Little Trouble started out as a Little Sparrow is where it started out, and it uses a lot of the same framing devices, the lyrical framing devices, but then puts them in a new context specific to living in the pandemic. It's more uplifting than that sounds. Ready?
I'd rather be with some dark lady in a cabin in the hills than to be stuck in suburbs with a smartphone hooked on pills. A little trouble knocking at my door. I can't do it on my own, dear. I need you more and more. I often ask myself a question: what makes folks act that way? And they need love every day. A little trouble, knocking at my door. I can't do it on my own, dear. I need you more and more. I'd rather live deep in the city where the people mix so free than to buy a rich man's lying about how they'll come for me. When I die, where will you put me? Far on east where my folks lie. Oh, hereabouts in the Iowa, where rest both you and I. A little trouble, knocking at my door. I can't do it on my own, dear. I need you more and more.
Thank you.
You know, that was a perfect song for us to be following with the song we're about to play, because I also was thinking about older and traditional folk tunes and repurposing them when I wrote this song. And specifically at the time that I wrote this next song we're going to play, I was trying to get down the picking for Elizabeth Cotton's Freight Train. Truly an iconic piece of American folk music. And I don't even know if I ever finished figuring it out, because suddenly I was writing my own song. And I'm pretty happy with what came out of it. And this song is called I Dreamt I Was. And, you know, this came out on our second project that we put out. And everything we've done so far is self-recorded and DIY.
The Sun is our second project.
Yeah, our second project called The Sun. And Brandy actually learned slide guitar for that project.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So on the recorded version of this song, there's like slide guitar and there's this like fun little synthy layer happening, and it's so groovy. And it quickly became, I think, maybe both of our favorite songs on that project. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we can't whip out a slide guitar on stage. We usually already have a lot going on. But we've worked out this rendition with the banjo, and it's still pretty cool. So
Is that second project available over there at the merch table?
It's not.
It's actually not. We sold out, which is cool.
You can listen to it on
But,
Spotify, though.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Spotify,
find it.
YouTube.
Yeah, Apple Music, all the places. But yeah, so this is I Dreamt I Was. Dreamt I was on a train that was Arkansas bound, going to see my family in their small Arkansas town. Last time I was there, I was but a wee child, but the dream felt so damn real, I forgot where I was for a while. I was flying down a highway, Wyoming bound. Been just shy of a year since the last time I came around. Stopped to look at the stars, we was all laid out on the ground. But I closed my eyes and when the sun did rise, I was back in my own town. Dreamt I was riding northbound on 53, going to see my parents in the house where I came to be. Every time I'm there, I can't wait to leave, but as soon as I get away, I miss it desperately. Dreamt I was sitting on a front porch with the sun and trees all around. You was there and we had gray hair, I'd finally settled down. When I woke up somewhere, felt like nowhere at all. Wandering alone in search of a home or some kind of calling. Thank you.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
Okay, cool. This is one called Elizabeth Brown. This is from our very first record. This is from our first EP, even before the record. And this is I like to think of it as a hillbilly retelling of Dante's Inferno. You know, pretty natural thing. And I wrote this. This is when I was still working, and most of the jobs that I had, I worked in childcare. I was a preschool teacher for a long time, and some school age too. And so this one I wrote. I was coming home from a field trip at the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum, and this is when it was still just a 2-lane out there. And songwriting for me is incredibly difficult. Like it takes a long time. But for some reason, the entire song just sprung into my head. And I'm driving 60 miles an hour on this little 2-lane, out in the sticks. And I'm trying to, this is before cell phones, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to remember this song, because, it's not often that this bolt of lightning strikes and, you get this song. And so I'm it's just a little car, and I'm, like swerving all over the road trying to find something to write on in the trash in my car, and finally I come to this intersection, and there's a Snuffy's malt shop there, and I pull into the parking lot, and I find like a White Castle bag or something to write the song down on, and as I'm sitting, and it's summertime, so I've got the windows rolled up and the air conditioning on, and all of a sudden I hear this knock, and I'm in my place, so I'm kind of startled, and there's this poor kid at the window, and he's got his Snuffy's malt shop apron on, the little paper hat, and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't loiter out here in the parking lot." And I was like, "What? I'm not loitering. I'm writing a song." He's like, "Well, my manager said, you can't be out here." So I had to go inside, and I had to order a double bacon cheeseburger.
Had to.
Yeah, and the big basket of fries.
Had to.
One of those chocolate malts that has the thing on the side of it.
Of course, had to.
Yeah, kind of like that last story I told. That doesn't have anything to do with the song, but
That's where the seed was planted?
Yeah. No, just art is a lot of suffering. That's the point of that. Ready?
Elizabeth Brown shot her own man right down. Beat me up and he knocked me down to a self-defense, said Elizabeth Brown. Les Brown laid out town, ain't no one can tie me down. Both side to way down, lay down and die, Elizabeth Brown. Then a man came under her with horns on his legs of fur. Said to her, like what I see, oh Elizabeth Brown, would you marry me? Heck, I will, said Elizabeth Brown, no boogeyman gonna tie me down. And all you men from hoof to crown, you're all the same, said Elizabeth Brown. Lord, it came to Elizabeth Brown on what you did, I do Brown. Joe old man, Paul Elizabeth Brown, he weren't no good, he slide down. Les Brown unto him said, no thank you sir, not be dead. She got right up, walked around, a free woman, the Elizabeth Brown. Elizabeth Brown shot her old man right down. Beat me up and he knocked me down to a self-defense, Elizabeth Brown. Okay.
Oh, yes, it's the walk of shame.
Welcome back to the stage.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, guys. Love it all. It's been a very nice show. So, thank you again to the Hallberg Family Foundation for sponsoring the musical series for Songwriters in the Round. And we also thank the voters of the state of Minnesota through the Arts and Heritage Legacy Act. Grants are made possible that allow us to host these kind of things, along with your donations and the valuable time of our volunteers.
Tonight's been really cool. Thank you for listening and caring, and thank you to the Hallberg Family Foundation and the Wyoming Area Arts Collective. This has been really cool. We appreciate intentional listening spaces.
I really like this format too, the like back and forth
Yeah.
storytelling.
But
It feels a lot nicer than just like, we played for 45 minutes, now you play for 45
yeah, I like this so much better actually. But yeah, we have one more song for you. It's maybe my favorite song I've written personally. And I actually wrote it a year ago, April of 2022. It's called Dance on the Ashes, and we released it. Been waiting. And we released it originally as a single, and then we put it out last August on our third project called
Which we do
People
have.
Come and Go. And we do have physical copies of that. You can find it all over on the internet too. But yeah, this is Dance on the Ashes, and it was a really meaningful song for me to write, so I'm glad to be sharing it with y'all. All right. Who I was yesterday is already gone. Who I am today isn't who I'll be for long. I have been so hurt, and I've been strung along. I have been the one to make things go wrong. I have been the one to make things go wrong. I have lost some people who I loved and adored over unresolved feelings from what came before. On my end and theirs, and even on yours, we all carry something that we didn't ask for. We all carry something that we didn't ask for. out of bed. And other times I feel like the best that's ever lived. Most of the time I'm somewhere in between. Take my good with the bad and hope that I find peace. Take my good with the bad and hope that I find peace. See, I ain't upset, no, not anymore. 'Cause that's not what living and dying is for. I screamed and I cried, I swore and I yearned. Then I danced on the ashes of the bridges that I burned. I danced on the ashes of the bridges that I burned. Thank you.
I don't know.
You don't know.
What do y'all got going on, guys? What are you up to?
That's-
2 questions for Roe Family Singers. The song before last, what was the title of it?
What was it about?
Oh, Elizabeth Brown.
Elizabeth Brown?
Elizabeth Brown. Thank you.
Elizabeth Brown?
Elizabeth Brown.
More popular than she's ever been now. And before you tell us what you folks have going on as well for your upcoming few months here.
Well, Saturday, we'll be in Aiken, Minnesota at the Ripple Center. It's a new performance space. They converted the old Opera House in Aiken. I was there a month and a half ago with a different band, and it's a beautiful space. And I'm excited to be going back with us. And then every Monday night, if you get down to the Twin Cities, we play at the 331 Club, which is in Northeast Minneapolis. We play there we've been doing that every Monday for 18 years.
That's a really long time.
Yeah, yep. And then like you all, we don't tour as much anymore, but the warm weather means that we'll be playing everywhere. It's farmers markets and libraries and festivals and bars and wherever people will have us.
So we can play outside again.
Yeah. It's Joby touched on this, but this is what the 4 of us do for our living. We're blessed to make music to support ourselves and, in our case, our family. We've got 2 kids, and it doesn't happen without. Am I bothering somebody? I'm sorry. I was trying to be all tender here. It doesn't happen without support from people like you. I mean, we don't get to do what we do if people don't show up.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank you to the Hallberg Family Foundation. The other part of it is that I mentioned my mom's little hometown of Washington, Iowa. Something that I've noticed in our touring over the years is that the communities, that were based in agriculture or mining, textiles, whatever, American industry is disappearing, and so a lot of these towns are disappearing. It was what happened to my mom's town. Washington was a very agricultural-based town, and when the McDonald's came into town, it put all the restaurants out of business. When the Walmart came into town, it put the square out of business. But they got a young mayor there about a decade ago, and he really wanted to bring the town back. And the first thing he did was start pumping money into the arts again, into especially places like this, to little galleries and performance spaces. So our experience says that this is what keeps communities together. And this
It brings the community together.
Keep it alive. So thank you very much for all being here, for being supporters of this. This is important. So thank you.
Round of applause for y'all.
So what do you want to do? You were supposed to be thinking of a song while I was being all tender.
Thinking.
And what did you come up with?
Well, I was thinking of what did he say? Just, I don't know, just because. But I don't care. Yeah. Well, what do you want to do?
I don't know. Should have thought this ahead.
What's the title of the song for that music video we did?
Oh,
Can we
okay.
do that one?
Yeah, we can do that one. Okay. So this is the Loretta Lynn Blues. This is Loretta Lynn. you know, she just passed away this year. And I was talking to Breeze earlier today. One of the things that I discovered pretty early on was that everybody in the arts knows everybody else. The first time I was down in Austin, Texas, and I was meeting other musicians down there that I'd never met before, and we had friends in common out in California. So that's quite a big triangle, and it really drove home for me the just how interconnected everything is. And so when we wrote this song, Loretta Lynn's music, I think today it's kind of forgotten how hugely impactful her music was when she started writing in the 60s. She had a number of her number one hits were banned from country radio because they were too progressive. They were about women's liberation and about birth control and about things that country music, heck, rock and roll didn't even want to take it on, but country certainly didn't want to take it on. And I think that spirit of radical feminism is really rad and, I don't know, sorely missing in today's music. And so back to the start of it, of like how everybody knows everybody, we've been doing this long enough that we've made some friends, and I had this hope that when we recorded this song, somehow Loretta Lynn was going to hear about it and ended up singing on the record with us. And she passed away before that happened. I'm pretty sure she would have done it otherwise. But
She's with us here.
So this is a song we just wrote this in honor of her and the things that she stood for. And we filmed the video for it back in February, and you all were wonderful extras in the video. We shot it at the 331 Club where we play every Monday, and we were trying to recreate what a Monday night looks like there, and it was a lot of fun. Ready?
Man is up by 4 o'clock, heading out the door by 5. Well, he don't get home till 6 o'clock after stopping at some dive. And of course he wants his dinner hot, a smile upon my lips. Well, it's hard with the baby on my apron strings, another on my hip. 'Cause the first one wakes at 3 o'clock and don't fall asleep till 5. Another wakes just after that and cries and cries and cries. And don't forget the oldest boy, he's growing like a weed. And the youngest one pulling at my blouse, looking for to feed. Not honey, not baby child, Loretta Lynn. I'll spell it out, it's W-O-M-A-N. It's not much to expect, the same respect that you give a man. Not honey, not baby, I'm a woman. They say a man will make a castle out of his happy home, and that a man, he rules the roost like a rooster with his comb. And he certainly will take the credit without thinking twice. But who is left to clean and scrub, raise the children right? Who does the dishes, sweeps the rugs, and hangs the clothes to dry? And who cooks the meals and rocks the baby when they start to cry? And who wakes up in the dead of night when the children have bad dreams? And who keeps a checkbook in the black, mends all those loose seams? Who does the same work as a man but takes home half the pay? And who gets blamed for things that men do to her every day? Who's the last to sit down to a hot meal on her dinner plate? And who never gets any peace and quiet till the day is late? Not honey, not baby child, Loretta Lynn. I'll spell it out, it's W-O-M-A-N. It's not much to expect, the same respect that you give a man. Not honey, not baby, I'm a woman. Not honey, not baby.
And if you like that sentiment, there's a T-shirt right over there that has Kim's biceps on it that says, "Not honey, not baby, I'm a woman." So, right over there at the merch table. Thank you all so much for being
Thank you
here.
so
Breeze,
much.
thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for having us. Thanks to the Hallbergs. Oh my gosh, it's a big mouthful.
Family
The
Family
HFF.
Foundation.
HF.
The Wyoming Area Arts Committee.
Thank you
Thanks.
for being here.
Thank you.
Please remember to be kind and to be safe and to treat people how you like to be treated.
Help make the world a better place. Help make it go round and round. Be good people. Please do good things.